Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Mauricio Pochettino, Poch, wants Solskjaer's job at Manchester United, and he has been speaking to, I think it was on a Sky Sports podcast, so these are genuine quotes from Pochettino in relation to wanting, in fact, loving the prospect of coming back to the Premier League and very excited about his next challenge. So look, all those United fans who want Pochettino to come to United are going to get very, very excited. I mean, but where do we stand on this? How likely is Pochettino to come to Manchester United? How safe is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? And actually, are we missing the point here about something that we've been speaking about for a while about Pochettino and United and Solskjaer? And that is this. I think many of us agree that the next manager of Manchester United, if there is to be a next manager of Manchester United, we want them to come in from a position of strength. We want them to come in and be begged. We want Woodward & Co to be like, please take this job, so that that manager has got power and can say, I'll take that job if you give me 200 million in the summer and control and a director of football. That's the scenario. If you want Solskjaer out, or you want Solskjaer to be sacked, or you're going to wait till May and make your mind up and then he gets sacked, whatever, I still think it's absolutely essential that the next manager of Manchester United comes in from a position of strength. We saw with Mourinho, sacked by Chelsea, top manager, still one of the best in the world at the time, but basically begged for the United job. You know, he was like, let me have this job to redeem myself. And because of that, he had no power. He had power, but he didn't have total control. And you need that. And what worries me about Pochettino now is that he's coming out with these words like, you know, I'd love to be back in the Premier League. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But the problem is, I feel worried. Even though he may well not be our manager. We may well stick with Solskjaer. But I feel worried about Pochettino now because the noises he's making sound a little bit like we could be falling into the same trap again as Van Gaal and Mourinho, where, yes, it's a good coach. It's a very good coach. But what control will he have? How desperate is he for the United job? Is he going to make the same mistake as Mourinho, where he thinks, you know what, I can do this job, just give it to me? You can't. I'll tell you this now, Poch. You cannot do this job unless you've got a lot of money and total control. If you're going to come in and think that your coaching ability is going to be enough with people like Woodward & Co above you destroying what you're trying to do, it won't work. So we need, if Pochettino is to be the manager of Manchester United, he needs to play a little bit more hardball. He needs to come into that football club and have control of transfers, a significant transfer budget, and hopefully a director of football as well. If those things happen, then I think, you know, there is reason to be optimistic about the future of Manchester United if it doesn't work out for Solskjaer. But I did get a little bit worried yesterday when I saw what was being said, and I thought, oh, he does sound like a manager that would just be desperate to take our job. And we've had managers who've been desperate to take that job and it's not worked out well. The manager of Manchester United needs to take control of that team, needs to take control of transfers, and we haven't had that for 6 years. So that's what would worry me about that. The likelihood of Pochettino coming to United, look, when he says he'd love to manage back in the Premier League, then, you know, that is a very big hint that it's Manchester United. He was actually at a game Tuesday night, so last night, Brentford versus Leeds. He was at that game, and Neil Ashton walked in behind him at that game. And Neil Ashton is obviously the rumoured PR spin man of Ed Woodward. So look, was Ashton talking to Pochettino because of that connection? I wouldn't even worry too much about that because United have already spoken to Pochettino anyway. So we were talking about that 2 or 3 weeks ago, these rumours about talking to Pochettino. It's already happened if you believe those. So the scenario I predict and understand is that if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets Champions League football, he will stay and Pochettino won't get the job. If he gets Europa League football, it's up in the air. If he gets no European football, he'll be gone, and Pochettino probably gets the job that he wants at Manchester United. And that is the situation. But I think that I've said this a few times, and look, whatever way United are going to go, I just want them to make their mind up now. If you want to go with Solskjaer, go with Solskjaer and absolutely go with him. If you're going to go with Pochettino, make that decision now. I think the worst thing we can do is let's wait and see again, because if you don't know already, you're never gonna know. Like, you've got enough evidence of what Solskjaer's done to either stick with him or already make plans to remove him in May, regardless of whether we get Champions League. And if you want Pochettino, you should just have him in place now and say you're coming in May. What we can't do, which we probably will do, is just wait and see what's going to happen in May, because wait and see would yet again be evidence of Manchester United demonstrating their total lack of knowledge in relation to winning a football club. Take Pochettino, for example, right? Pochettino wants the Manchester United job. We can all establish that. He wants to manage in the Premier League. He'd love to manage back in the Premier League. Who the hell is he going to manage in the Premier League? He ain't going to manage Chelsea. He ain't going to, because Lampard's not going anywhere. He's not going to manage Chelsea. And also he's got that London connection with Spurs. So he's not going to manage Arsenal either. And they've just got Arteta. He's not going to manage Man City because Pep's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to manage Liverpool because Klopp's not going anywhere. So he's not going to go back to Spurs. So out of the traditional top 6, the only job that's viable is Manchester United, because he ain't going to manage Everton anyway because they've got Ancelotti, and it's a step down. He's only going to take a job with the top 6, and the only job that's a viable option is Manchester United. So when he says he'd love to come back to the Premier League, he's saying I'd love to come to Manchester United. You know, that's there. So if you're Ed Woodward and Manchester United, you make your decision now. And my problem with this is, it's vision over luck. Have you got a vision for this football club, or are you going to rely on luck? Because let's just say, you know, and I fear this is the situation. Let's just say that Manchester United are going to wait till May. They've got Pochettino if they need to, but if Ollie pulls off Champions League football, we'll stick by him. That when you look at it, it's wrong. It's the wrong thing to do, because it's 3 months. Basically, it's 3 months. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can win enough games in the next 3 months, he might win the Europa League and get Champions League football, or he might get top 4, right? Look at the last year, and it's been poor. Look at his first 3 months, and it was brilliant. What are you going to learn from a brilliant 3 months? We've already had the brilliant 3 months, and you gave him the job, and then he had a bad year. If he has three good months now, what's to say the next year won't be terrible? You know what I mean? Like, 3 months is not it doesn't teach us anything we don't already know. And on top of that, Paul Pogba could be a big part of those 3 months, and he won't be here next year. So United need people at that football club, and we don't have people at that football club who know football, because realistically, decisions should be made at Manchester United now, today, straight after that. Look, Pochettino wants this job. Are we going to go with him, or are we going to go with Ollie? And I'm not going to say go with Poch or Ollie. That's not what I'm about to say. You lot can make your mind up about that. I'll tell you what's going to happen in a minute. But the owners of the club need to make a decision now. They cannot wait until May and go, well, if we get Champions League with Ollie, we'll stay. Because that's just luck. You know, that is not footballing management ability. We've seen what his ability is. If you like it, stick with him. If you don't, have that change ready now. Flippy floppy football management of Manchester United has been our biggest problem, and here is an opportunity. And let's not forget, for those fans who want Pochettino, this is Woodward's second chance to get him. He could have got him. He could have got him in the summer. He was lined up to get him in the summer, and he jumped on the bus with Ollie's at the wheel like the fans did, and he went with him. A year later, he's got a second chance to get that manager. If he refuses it again, and it goes wrong with Ollie, I don't know how Woodward's still in a job anyway, but you know, he's got to get this decision right. He's got to get it right. As for when Pochettino could come in, because a lot of people are saying, well, Pochettino's saying he's ready now for a new challenge. Why don't we get him now? He costs money to get now. Spurs sacked him, and any club that gets Pochettino in the Premier League, and it might even be any league, has to pay Spurs around 10 million if he goes into a new job before the end of the season. Manchester United's a business, it's not a football club. They're not going to pay 10 million to get a manager, even though it would make sense to get a manager in as soon as possible if you want that manager. So that's why nothing will happen till May anyway with whether Pochettino or Solskjaer. Effectively, Solskjaer's got till May. He's got that 3-4 months till May to try and keep his job. What I would say is Manchester United need to make a decision now. I know it's harsh, but high-end football is harsh. I remember City, Chelsea, they've got rid of managers in really harsh circumstances, but they've then gone on to win titles because of it. And people have gone, they shouldn't have got rid of Ancelotti. Oh, it was a bit unfair to get rid of Pellegrini. But they did it, and they've gone on to better things. A scenario for you here, right? Would it be wrong for Manchester United to already have Pochettino signed up as the manager to come in the summer? And I say that because I'll give you the scenario. United have already agreed that Pochettino's the manager next season. It's already done. It's signed, right? Okay? we come back from this break, we do really, really well, we get in the top 4, and Ollie still gets the sack. How do you sit with that as a fan? What do you think about that? I think it would be ridiculously harsh, but I would also say, you know what? I can see why they've done it, because, all right, we've ended the season well, but Ollie had long enough at the start of the season and towards the back end of last season to show that he wasn't a mistake, and he could have shown that. So United aren't going to do that, by the way. They're not going to do that. If we get Champions League football, they will stick with Solskjaer. I guarantee you that. But big clubs with big ambitions maybe would make that decision that they're going to bring Pochettino in, and they've already made that mind up. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, look, some people will say, "Oh, whatever, it's not big news." I think it's very significant news what Pochettino has said. He wants to manage in the Premier League, meaning he wants Ollie's job at Manchester United, because it's the only job that's viable for him in the next few months. So Pochettino has done that come and get me thing to United. United need to stop acting like they are still a big club and start acting like they want to be a big club. And I think that they need to make a statement. And they need to make a statement on who their manager's going to be. And if they're sticking with Ollie, they're sticking with Ollie. If they're going for Pochettino, they're going for Pochettino. But don't wait till May. You've got enough evidence now to make your mind up. 3 or 4 months of scraping top 4 is nothing compared to the last year under Ollie. And now you either like what Ollie's done in the last year and where he's going, or you don't. But Pochettino's not in the equation if you like it. And he is in the equation right now and getting signed up on a contract if you want to make that change. That's how I feel about it. I don't know what you lot think. But look, very similar to the Mourinho and Van Gaal situation, we've got a manager that wants this job. And we've also got a manager that many United fans are not sure about. So a decision needs to be made by the club, and it's on to them to do it. But rest assured, or not rest assured, if we refuse Poch for whatever reason this time, we'll never get him again, because you can't have 3 bites at the cherry. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. We are back at 8 o'clock live tonight. I shall speak to you all soon. Get in the comments. What do you think? Pochettino wants the United job. What should United do? Should it be wait and see? Should Solskjaer keep his job if he gets Champions League football? Or actually, is our long-term vision and future better in the hands of someone like Pochettino? Speak to you soon.